Cancers, welcome to March. Hope you guys are having an amazing month. Really quickly, just want to touch base, let you guys know what was happening last month with that crazy full moon, lunar eclipse in Leo, new moon, and solar eclipse in Pisces. That was intense. That was totally intense. Okay, so with the lunar eclipse, that is like a turbocharged full moon. So that lunar eclipse in Leo and full moon is all about release. Like when the full moon is out there, you can't hide. It is so bright that you can see everything at night. You can't hide from your inner truths. People can't hide from their own understanding of life. Like everything just comes right to the forefront. So that being in Leo, so you have a crazy huge release of emotions that is filtered through a Leo lens. And Leo, if you have Leos in your lives, they are incredibly dramatic, incredibly ego driven a lot of the times, which is beautiful. I love watching Leos in action. Creative, they love kids, so like kids would have been at the forefront. Like I said, creative energy, romance. You know, I was so romantic during the full moon, just wanting to have fun and to play. But yeah, a lot of attention-seeking drama. Like, it really was all that entire spectrum of emotions. And wherever the moon hit in your natal chart is where that really lit up. Okay, so I'm not quite sure how advanced you guys are in astrology. You can more than... Please send me a message and I can tell you exactly where the full moon and the solar eclipse hit in your chart. If you know your birth time, that's even better. And then you can really start to see and play with the energies. So for the solar eclipse and the new moon in Pisces, the solar eclipse is a turbocharged new moon. So that's bringing in, new moon is all about bringing stuff in and manifesting and what you want from life. And when that's filtered through a Pisces lens, Pisces is all about compassion, generosity, emotions, unseen world. So my intuition was crazy. I was like seeing little specks everywhere, like seeing, like I would see, like I would go into the washroom and I would just see out of the corner of my eyes, just like this like hazy white, like cloudy mist. But then when you focus on it, it's gone. It's all about the unseen world. So if you guys were feeling it, I bless you, because that means that you guys are definitely getting more attuned with who you are, more lined up with the universal energies. And this has just been an incredible, incredible ride. February opened up a vortex of spiritual enlightenment. So a lot more people are starting to become more awake, starting to realize that, hey, I'm creating the life that I want. My thoughts are powerful. I'm in control. I can do whatever I want. Blah, 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 blah. It's truly, truly magnificent, incredible. And I'm so excited that I'm finally feeling back to myself so I can share this energy with you guys, because it can be extremely powerful and extremely positive. It's all about how you want to harness that energy with anything. It can be negative or positive. In my opinion, if you were sitting here watching this video, you guys obviously are very positive, optimistic, and creative people that are realizing that you are enlightened in the fact that you are creating the world that you see in front of you. You're creating your reality. So kudos. And I'm so excited to get started for you guys. I want to shuffle these a little bit more. So Cancer. Also, another thing I should mention is that Venus is going retrograde on Friday. So Venus retrograde, Venus rules beauty, lovers, love, relationships, partnerships, even any one-on-ones. So past lovers could be coming up, past issues in your relationship could be coming back in. Anything that comes back up, either like recognize that it's just the Venus retrograde and it'll pass after April 15th. So any matters of the love, don't make any decisions until after April 15th, because you'll just continue to question it. I personally got married during the Venus retrograde, and yeah, like 8 years later, things from 7 years ago are being brought back up. And, you know, we're laughing about it now. We're able to just be like, okay, put all honesty on the table, wipe it clean, and move forward. That's all that you can do, okay? So Cancer for March 2017. So your situation for March, Cancers, is, sorry, I don't mean for these to be upside down, but it is the Empress card. So either congratulations, because 9 times out of 10, this is a pregnancy. For me especially, I've noticed that pregnancy, absolutely. But a lot of the times, this is all about fertility. And like I said, creating the world that you want, using that positivity and optimism to manifest the world that you want. This is a beautiful feminine card, which relates so well with the Cancer because Cancer is ruled by the moon, which is very feminine, of course. This is really telling us to be more cognizant of, like, close your eyes and just listen to your thoughts for a little bit. Listen to your thoughts, see where they're going. Maybe try to trail them back. It's time to really take a step back and really listen to our thoughts because your thoughts are what is creating your world. Okay? What you focus on expands. So if you're constantly focused on all that crap from the past, guess what? That past isn't going to stay back there. It's going to wreak havoc on your future, on your present. You're not going to be able to stay in the present moment if you're constantly worried about the past. And that's something that I'm realizing is coming up a lot in these spreads because 2016, we're still feeling that energy. And 2016 was all about completion. 2017 is newness, new beginnings. But 2016, if we didn't leave stuff in 2016 and complete it, it is even more detrimental to be now releasing it and just letting it go. So with the moon, especially as a Cancer, like I can't stress this enough, Cancers need to follow the lunar phases. You guys are so connected to the moon that it is, especially moon in Cancer, oh my gosh, it is imperative for you guys to recognize that the moon affects us. You know, it's a common fact that ERs are more busy during the full moon. Something crazy happens and people are like, is it a full moon? Because they realize that full moon affects us, okay? The full moon is a time to release your emotions. Cry, yell, scream, get it all out. I don't care if you're male, female, animal, black, white, whatever. Get all your emotions out during the full moon. And don't feel bad about it. It's okay to cry. It is normal and natural, just as natural as it is to laugh, to cry. It is actually even more important because you're releasing those emotions. So release with the full moon, and then during the full moon, you can start to realize, okay, what do I want? I cried out what I didn't want. I cried out the situation during the full moon. Now, what do I want to bring in? Then start jotting them down. Start writing down your dream home. Start making your vision boards during the new moon. Start telling, people around you what you want. Only positive people that are going to support you. Start telling them what you want for your life, what your dreams are, what you want to accomplish this year, your intention for the year, okay? Because you have a lot of fertile energy this year, and no matter what you're creating, no matter what you're manifesting, whether that's positive or negative, okay? It's going to come in. No matter what. So if I were you, I might as well make it positive, right? It's really not hard to think positively. It's actually the easiest thing ever. It's easier to think positively than it is to think negatively. Just turn off the news. First thing in the morning, write 10 things that you're grateful for. That will set up your entire day. How can you have a bad day when you just spent your morning writing 10 things that you are so grateful for? There's no way you can have a bad day. You're too humbled. You're way too humble to have a bad day when you just spent your morning, first thing, focused on what you're happy about. It doesn't work any other way, right? So try it. I'm urging Tauruses, I'm urging all the zodiac signs to use this very potent, powerful energy from the eclipses to start manifesting the life that we want. It's fun, it's phenomenal, it works every time. Try it. Law of attraction, okay? Obstacle and an aid, money. So if it is a pregnancy and you're realizing that the money isn't there and you're stressing about it, or if it is a creative project that you want to birth, something you want to give birth to this month, and you're thinking, well, I don't have the money for it, or how is this going to work financially? It's an obstacle and an aid. So money is going to help you with that project, but it's also going to hinder you birthing that project. So recognize that. I'm gonna pull some more cards. We're gonna figure out how to really harness that energy. But as it stands right now, maintaining a positive focus on your finances is a surefire way to make sure that you have the finances to start creating and birthing these creative projects, or to start thinking about being a parent, okay? It's all about how you see your finances, because you are creating your world. So create from a happy place, and that's exactly what's going to be brought to you, okay? Subconsciously, and sorry, just really quickly, because I just got a pain right here. If finances give you a headache, then you know, it's not a positive mentality when it comes to finances. But another thing with the head, whenever I feel things in my head, it's Aries. You know, Aries rules the head. So if you know any Aries around you, Aries are doing very well right now. Aries are really able to create the world that they want for themselves. They're not afraid to do that. It might be time to start harnessing some Aries energy, whether that's wearing more red, whether that's, you know, getting an essential oil related to Aries, or related to empowerment or impulsiveness, forward movement, whether it's wearing a crystal that is all about forward movement, like a citrine is a great manifestation stone that gives you that energy to propel yourself forward. Use Aries keywords as a way to empower yourself, to remind yourself that you have all that you need in order to birth whatever it is that you want to birth with positivity and optimism and creativity. Subconsciously, another financial card. Financially feeling, well, subconsciously feeling worried, feeling like you can't make these changes because you don't have the financial freedom. Blah, blah, blah. We've heard it all before. You know, it's old news. Like, has worrying about money helped you in the past? Please, has it? Be honest. Give yourself some truth. Has worrying about money created an anchor or allowed you to set sail? Which one has it been? If it's been the one that's holding you back and you feel like you constantly have to ring out to other people for help just to feel financially free, you're doing something wrong. And this is the month to birth that new financial energy where it's like, I'm in control of my finances. Start thinking of your finances as energy. And once you can align your mind with that energy, you can start to manifest a lot easier and bring that money in. Another thing I'm realizing is that, and I have them too, of course, is we have these financial blockers, okay? And with Cancer, it's hard to forget the past. They really something will happen to them, and they'll revert back into their shell. You know, they'll come back in and say, and put the situation right there and say, well, I'm protected now because I'm back in my shell. And then they never venture forth. But the thing with the Cancer, the thing with the crab is that a crab, when it outgrows its shell, it moves into a bigger shell. It has to outgrow in order to realize that in order to survive, it has to get out of its shell to move to another one. That's the only way that a crab will survive, or else it will be squished to death by its short, small shell. So realize that this financial mind state that you're going through, this financial worry, it's just your small shell. It's time to expand. It's time to venture outward and to grow into your bigger shell, and then revert back into that big shell. As long as that big shell is a positive one, a big shell of financial abundance, a big shell of positivity and charisma and creativity, and acknowledging that money is an energy and money comes freely and abundantly to you, and that there is way more than enough for everyone. Once you can move into that bigger shell, then revert back in, then feel at home until you have to grow more and move to an even bigger shell. But the shell you're in right now, it's too constricting. It's way too constricting. It's time to change your thought process when it comes to your finances. It's as simple as that. And like I said, writing the 10 things a day that you're grateful for, maybe try doing it financially. You know, if you're worrying so much about your finances, how about 10 things a day that you're able to pay for with ease? Things that come to you with ease that other people have to struggle for. Basic clean water, clean clothes, clothing in general. You pay for that. Food on your table, a house, a beautiful home, a reliable car. These are all things that you have paid for, that you've had the money for. That's something to be very, very grateful for. Why are you worrying about money when you clearly have more than enough? It might be time, like I was telling the Tauruses, to sell some things that are no longer serving your highest good. If you're worrying about money, purging makes you really realize how much you have. Like, I had no idea how blessed I was until I started giving stuff away, where I'm like, I haven't even worn this and I'm giving it away. Like that, you don't have any idea how blessed that makes me feel. There are people in other civilizations that all they want are clothes. And here I am with so many clothes that I have to give it away. That is a truly, truly blessed feeling. And there's no way that I can feel worried and stressed about finances when I'm realizing just how much I have. Like it's too humbling. It's way too humbling. So thinking that, you know, you have to build other people up, thinking that it's your obligation to be that financial success that other people can admire. But realistically, it might be time to start looking at how other people have manifested their success and using that to your advantage. See people who are financially set and who have your financial profile and learn from them. Maybe invest in their services to see if that's something that you need. Sometimes you have to put out money and energy towards a cause in order to feel fulfilled, and like the universe will reward that because they're like, okay, you're doing the legwork, you're putting energy into it, here you go, here's some valuable information that you absolutely need in order to provide that blueprint for your life. Like I started talking about financial blockers, everybody has them. It's time to just clear them. You know, the number one financial blocker is a lot of the times your parents. You know, how did your parents view money? Were you that kid that your parents were always fighting about money, so now you feel like you have to make money in order to be happy because you saw that your parents weren't happy and then they were complaining about money and you made that connection? It's time to start realizing, being honest with how you truly view finances, and if you actually feel abundant and actually feel blessed with what you've been given, because that is truly the first step in inner work and growth, okay? And moving into that bigger shell, proverbial shell, might I say. So something that would have just passed recently, a lot of partying, a lot of going out, dancing, a lot of showing off who you are, and that's really what you're realizing now is needed in your life, a little bit more fun. So that full moon in Leo would have been a lot of fun, a lot of partying. February for me, drinks were flowing for sure, a lot of partying, but it wasn't conducive to my spiritual well-being, my physical well-being, and I realize now that I need a tune-up. So definitely something like that. Start to focus more on, you know, now that the spring is coming in, it's March, it's time to start focusing on your emotional, physical, spiritual well-being, and realizing, like I said, that it might be time for a tune-up, might be time, whether that's Reiki, whether that's crystal healing, whether that's, you know, just getting a food plan going, whatever that means to you. But it is absolutely time. You've had your partying days, and it's time to start getting back to seriousness, okay? So, and that's great because the future card is more of a focus on finances, feeling really good, but also, like I said, seeing your finances through rose-colored glasses. So once you can recognize that, you know, looking at someone's financial profile and learning from them, growing from them, you'll start to see your finances in a whole different light. And that's really going to shoot out to other areas of your life and shoot out to your family and friends. So you almost owe it to them to get a better financial situation going on so they can stop worrying about you and they can lead by your example. You want to be someone that they can look up to when it comes to finances, but you can't do that if you're constantly worrying about your finances because you're just setting them up for the same worry and financial disaster that you got yourself into, okay? So you right now definitely feeling like you got to fight. It's an internal struggle. You're really bleeding out here. A lot of confusion, a lot of shaky ground, feeling the inner work of it, feeling like, you know, when does it end? That's interesting considering the fact that you are so fertile right now. So instead of focusing innerly on fighting for your strength, fighting for your action, fighting for your movement, it's time to just flow with it for once with positivity. You know, we can't control everything, and Cancer is a fixed sign, so it can be hard for you to make those changes. Cancer is a cardinal sign, so it can be hard to make those lasting changes. But once Cancer sets their eye on something, they go for it wholeheartedly. So that's really what the universe is urging you to do, is to take that cardinalness that you have taken for granted in the past and realize that you are just as much of a leader as Aries are, and it's time to really go forward, okay? Go forward with positive emotions. Family and friends, there's an older mentality here. There's an authority. You feel like your family and friends have it all together, like they've figured out their transformation. They have a beautiful authority. They have a commitment. They have this, that. They have everything that you want with just a little bit of fun that's grounding them. So learn from them. If your family and friends are really transforming and really using the eclipse and this March madness to kind of better themselves, you can learn from their example. You don't always have to be the one that they look up to. You can start to look up to your family and friends because they, of course, have something to offer you. You know, I'm not quite sure if you guys believe in reincarnation, but a lot of the times we are reincarnated with the same souls because we have lessons to learn from them. Recognize that even though this is your relationship in this lifetime, that might not have been your relationship in another lifetime. For instance, my husband and his dad, it is like a reverted situation. My husband is like more the father than his dad is, and that's probably because in a past life, my husband was the dad in that situation or that authority in that situation. So it's a lot easier to kind of to work through that subconsciously. See what I'm saying? So recognize that it might be someone who's, you know, in a lower position than you, especially family and friends who's in a lower position than you, but realistically, they still have so much to teach you. So learn from them. You don't need to always be the one that they're learning from. Hope and fear. So you hope for newness, you hope for new growth, you hope for a nice change. It is coming for sure, but only if you welcome it in with open arms. Because if you fear that newness, you fear that growth, it's not going to come in the way that you want it. It's going to come in from a place of fear. And fearing change is the number one way to have negative change in your life, because fear is a low vibrational energy. Anticipate it. Instead of fearing it, anticipate it. Is it really that scary if you expect it? Think about when you're watching a scary movie, okay? The music changes tempo and it starts to build up and like she's slowly sneaking in and you're telling her, you're looking at the screen saying, don't you go in there, girl? And you know that it's building up. So what do? You close your eyes and you just hear her being murdered, but you're not watching it. See what I'm saying? So you anticipated that fear, so you were able to shield yourself from it. If you're fearing, you know, this newness, this new change, this forward movement, this forward growth, anticipate it instead so you can shield yourself as the crab, as the Cancer does, but you can still invite it in with caution. See what I'm saying? Last card before I talk your ear off is a future card. So things are looking incredible when it comes to your finances. Stop worrying about them, because as soon as you stop worrying about your finances and you start focusing on abundance and you start writing those 10 things a day that you are grateful for that you had the money to do, things will really start to flow a lot easier. I promise you that. But this is going to take some legwork. That's the thing. A lot of the times with my readings, I'm noticing that people are saying, you know, I'm reading for them and it's resonating, but they're not doing any of the legwork. Sometimes it's not just about recognition and bringing things to the conscious level. You have to actually be making those movements in order to start the flow of energy to come back in. So start to focus more on how blessed you are when it comes to your finances. It's not a race, you know, and even if it was a race, slow and steady always wins. So recognize that this might just be a steady, slow time instead of a quick, you're not going to win the lottery, but this birthing, this newness coming in, coupled with the financial challenge and aid is an absolutely beautiful thing, because this is going to make you realize how in control you actually are. Okay, so that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you have an amazing March. It's feeling great for me, and I'm excited to hear your stories about the eclipse. So please leave some comments, send me a message, whatever you feel compelled to do. I love you guys so much, and I hope you have an amazing March and an amazing 2017, and I will see you in April. Okay, bye guys.